Election Commission of India. Democratic system in India provides for impartial, free and fair elections. So the framers of Indian Constitution clearly made provisions for an independent statutory body called Election Commission. Why? To conduct election in India. So the Article 324 to 329 in Part 15 deals with composition, powers and functions of Election Commission. Let's see what is the purpose of Election Commission. So the Election Commission conducts election to the office of the President, Vice President, Union Parliament, Legislature of State, Union Territories and local bodies. So let's see what are the composition of Election Commission. Article 324 provides for the office of Election Commission of India. So this Election Commission consists of Chief Election Commissioner and other Election Commissioner. Till 1993, this Election Commission was a single member body. So in this Election Commissioner, there was only Chief Election Commissioner only. But it became 3-member body during the Prime Ministership of Sri P.V. Narasimha Rao. So here it tells that until 1989, the Commission was a single member body, but later additional election commissioners were added. Thus the election commissioner presently consists of Chief Election Commissioner, and other than that there is 2 election commissioners. That's why it tells that there are 3-member body. Before it was Chief Election Commissioner, that's what single member body. Now it constitutes 2 more extra, 2 election commissioners. That's why it's known as a 3-member body under the Prime Ministership of Sri P.V. Narasimha Rao. Appointment and removal of Election Commissioner. According to Article 342 of 2, Chief Election Commissioner and other Election Commissioner, so this 3-member body, are appointed by the President of India on the advice of Union Cabinet. The term of the office is 6 years or till they attain the age of 65. In Article 324 of 6, it makes the provision for the salaries, allowances and other privileges to the Chief Election Commissioner, Election Commissioners and the personnel. Here, the Parliament determines the salaries of Chief Election Commissioner, Election Commissioner. There are 2 Election Commissioners other than that Chief Election Commissioner. So this Parliament determines the salaries from time to time, and it is borne out of a consolidated fund of India. Listen carefully. Actually, there are 2 types of fund. That is consolidated fund and contingency fund. With regard to consolidated fund, here all the revenues or income received by the government by the way of direct taxes and indirect taxes, money borrowed and received from loans given by the government flow into consolidated fund. So the Parliament determines the salaries of Election Commissioner and other Commissioner of India through Consolidated Fund of India. Next, removal of Chief Election Commissioner and other Election Commissioner. According to Article 324 of 5, the Chief Election Commissioner and other Election Commissioner can be removed from their office in the same manner as the Judge of Supreme Court on the ground of proved misbehavior and incapacity to discharge their constitutional obligation. So here comes the doubt. How the Judges of Supreme Court is removed? So the Judges of Supreme Court cannot be removed from office except by an order of the President after a decision taken by each House of the Parliament supported by the majority of total membership of the House and by a majority of not less than 2/3 of members present and voting, and thus presented to the President. So in the same way, the judges of Chief Election Commissioner and other Election Commissioner is removed. Powers and functions of Election Commission. According to Article 324 of 1, the Election Commission prepares electoral roll and its periodic revision. Actually, you might have seen this electoral roll. An electoral roll is a compilation that lists persons who are entitled to vote for particular elections in a particular jurisdiction. So the list is usually broken down by electoral district, and is primarily compared to assist election officials at polling spaces. Number 2. Holds election to parliament, state legislatures and offices of president and vice president. Number 3. After the announcement of elections, it decides the timetable. Number 4. This election commission conducts by-election to vacant seats. So the by-election is nothing but, this election is held generally to fill the vacancy arising due to the death or resignation or disqualification of an elected member. So the elected members conducts by-election to vacant seats. Number 5. Election Commission grants recognition to political parties as national and state level parties. So let's see how these political parties get the recognition as in national wise and state level party. So according to Election Emblem Act in 2000, for national party, number 1, 6% of casted valid votes in 4 or more states in Lok Sabha or Vidhan Sabha election, and 4 Lok Sabha seats in any states or states. So this casted valid vote is nothing but if there is any blockage with regarding to the election or votes of a particular person, so someone may exercise to resolve that blockage. In such case, a casted valid vote is done typically by the presiding officer of a council, legislative body, committee, etc. Number 2. Minimum 2% of Lok Sabha seats in 3 states. With regard for regional party, 6% of valid votes in the Lok Sabha or Vidhan Sabha election from the state and 2 Vidhan Sabha seats, or 3% total Vidhan Sabha seats in states or success at least in 3 constituencies. So this is how the Election Commission give its grand recognition to political parties as national and state level parties. Number 6. So this Election Commission scrutinizes. Scrutinizes means it have a look or have a study the nomination paper. Number 7. It allows. So this Election Commission gives symbol to political parties and independent candidates. Number 8. It appoints, or Election Commission appoints officers and other staff members to conduct election and make necessary arrangement. Number 9. It can order for re-poll in any constituencies or any polling booth. Number 10. It can withhold the election result on valid grounds. Number 11. The President or the Governor acts on the advice of the Election Commission at the time of disqualification of members of the House. Number 12. Election Commission enforces the Code of Conduct. So this Code of Conduct is a set of rules outlining the norms, rules and responsibility of proper practice of an individual or a political party or an organization. So this Election Commission enforces the Code of Conduct for the candidates and political parties, that is the election expenses and submission of accounts after election, environmental protection against noise pollution, etc. during election. Number 13. As per Representation of People's Act, that is RPA Act of 1950 and 1951, Election Commission of India conducts the process of election.